Hi there and welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. And boy, I tell you, I am struggling with technology. I'm starting to think if I'll ever get it. I don't know. Anyway, today I'm going to re-show this little card that I made in the Halloween couple of videos that I did. I was showing it to some team members the other day and they were saying, can you remind us what the dimensions were and things like that? So I am going to do that. But first, I want to show you a special little gift I got yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Look at this. Oops. Now, if you know me at all, my husband and I are addicted to anything sourdough. And this was a gift from my friend Verna, who is a fellow demonstrator. And she's just now starting to get into sourdough baking as well. It is really addicting, but I'll tell you what, some of the recipes in this book, I'm telling you, I have yet to come across one that I don't want to do. There are so many cool things in here, and I have my grandkids coming next week, so we're going to be baking. Really baking. Love it, love it. And I had to almost literally wrench the cookbook out of my husband's hands this morning. He's like, I want to see. It's my turn. I'm like, okay, whatever. Just a reminder, too, that you still have a couple of weeks to take advantage of the in color sale, 15% off select products. And there's a lot of them. I'm actually surprised at how many products that aren't actually just in color stuff, like the ink and the paper and stuff like that. But there's like designer papers. There's the little Halloween bags. Do I have them out here? Yeah, these little Halloween iridescent bags, they're also on sale. It doesn't say what the colors are in here, but if you look at it, you can see that there's some really pretty colors in there. Anyway, they're on sale for 15%. So pop in there. If you are Canadian and you don't have a demonstrator, pop into Critters'n Ink. How does it go? Critters'n Ink .stampinup.net, I think. I'll list it. I can't remember. Or just go to critters'nink.com and click the Shop With Me link. And check it out. There's a lot of really cool things on sale. And also the fall and seasonal catalogs are coming out in a couple of weeks. And if you have shopped with me in the last 6 months, yours is in the mail. You should have it hopefully by the end of next week. I don't even have mine yet, but I know some people have gotten theirs already. So if you have shopped with me in the last 6 months, you will receive one in the mail. And if you haven't, and again, if you're Canadian and don't have a demonstrator, I do have some extra catalogs coming. And I'd be more than happy to either pop one in the mail or meet up with you for coffee and hand one over. So let me know. So why don't we get started? I'm going to pop down to my desk here. Let's have a quick look. Or not. I'm telling you, I am having so much trouble with this. It's driving me insane. Ugh. Okay, let me try that again. Boy, oh boy. Okay, this is not making me happy. You know what? I just checked it like 10 minutes ago and it worked. So let me go back in here and see what the hell is going on. I don't know. Oh, you know what? I actually unplugged it when I thought I was unplugging my extra microphone. Let me plug it back in. Tell you, I was a big drinker. This would be the reason why. Holy moly. What the heck? Okay, that better work. Nope. Oh, you guys. Let's see. I'm telling you, somebody bring over the wine. All right, let me try this again. I'm going to delete the camera and then I'm going to add the camera. Holy. There we go. I don't know why that had to be so damn difficult, but anyway, here we are. All right. Okay. So let's get this party started. Holy crow. There I am back. Okay. So these are the cards that I made over the weekend. I was playing with my things, my lovely things. And look at this. You know how this got started was I was organizing my stamps because I don't always put them away. I'm not that organized. And I was reorganizing them in alphabetical order, making sure I had the, there we go, having the dies together with them and everything so that I could find everything quickly. And I came across this die set, which I hadn't used. I think I used it one time. And I thought, why am I not using this? It's gorgeous. So the die set is part of the Sweet Blooms bundle. So you can stamp the words and cut them out, or you can cut out the words and cut them out. Like cut out the shadow and cut out the actual words. And then there's a little floral for this flower. This is a two-step stamp. So there's the die for that. And then there's a little leaf as well, an individual little leaf and there's a background little stamp and some really cute sentiments like bloom where you're planted. And actually I'm doing a bloom where you're planted card today. A friend of mine just moved out of province yesterday. So I'm going to send this to her to her new home. And, but I'm going to make this style of card. But aren't they cute? I just think this is so cute. So I saw one of my co-demonstrators, Tamara Bertram, did this card, and I did this one in my video last week or the week before with my Halloween series. Aren't they stinking cute? I love them. So cute. So we're going to do that today, and it's one of the easiest cards you will ever do. If you're just popping in, please say hello. Tell me where you're watching from. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I would love to be able to say hello, so please tell me where you're from and say hi. So for this card, I'm going to use a Granny Apple Green. I'm going to do a side fold on this one. On this one, I did a top fold. I typically don't do top folds, and I don't know why. I just don't. But this one I'm going to do a side fold because that seems to be the way I go usually. And I'm going to use as my contrasting color Garden Green. And this piece, which is going to be the focal point of the card, is 3.5 by 4 3/4. And then I have a piece of designer series paper that is 3.25 by 4.5. And then on the inside, I'm going to use the same dimensions. I've got a piece that is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then I have a piece of basic white that is 3.25 by 4.5. And I'll show you the paper. I mean, this paper is so beautiful. This is called Florals in Bloom Designer Series paper. And just look at it. Oh, I never used to be a flower kind of person. When I first started Stampin' Up, I never did anything floral. I just it's not my bag. But I'll tell you, more and more, their papers are so beautiful, and they're all double-sided. So this one, which I did, what colors did I do with this one? Let's see. Oh, that's the one I'm doing today, I think. Hi, Mary. Thanks for joining. Irvine, California. I've only ever been to LA, so I don't know anything about California, but I loved it when I was there. Um, was it this one? No, it wasn't this one. So I think this is the one that we're doing today, if I can find my paper. Yeah, it is. So we're doing this one today. But look at the other side. Look at how pretty that is. Gorgeous. So that's that one. And then we have this one, which is like Timid Tiger and what else is in there? Poppy Parade, Secret Sea, and oh, Summer Splash. Yeah, Summer Splash is the green, the greeny bluey color. And then that's the other side. Isn't that pretty? And then there's this one, which was the first card that I made. Just love it. And then this is the back. So this is like the little detail stamp that is in the stamp set for this group. And that's just a repeat of that one. We've seen that one. Look at this one. Woo! That is gorgeous. Gorgeous. So this, I'm going to say this is Berry Burst. I'll check in a sec. Secret Sea, Old Olive and Granny Apple Green, Pretty Peacock. Look at the colors. Oh, stunning, stunning. And then this is the back. Look at that. I love it. So that's that one. Here's the Timid Tiger one that we saw earlier with the pink. And then if you're a purple person, holy, look at this. Now my screen to me looks really red, but it's not. It's actually shades of, what do you call this? Fresh Freesia. And then there's Secret Sea over here with the garden green and Berry Burst. Oh, isn't that absolutely stunning? And then this is the back. It's just like a cloud cover with a lighter color of cloud cover stripe. Absolutely beautiful. So that's that one. And then look at this. Oops, almost fell on the floor. This one is really pretty with the little daisies. We have some of these in our garden. I don't know where they came from. I had a whole bunch of seeds in bags that over the years I was going to plant and never did. So I just went outside one day, took all my little Ziploc bags of seeds, and I took them out in the backyard and I just threw them. And so we have bunches of these coming up everywhere. It's really neat. I love it. And then the back of this is the purples. Now this is very purple. On my screen it looks really red, but it's actually Fresh Freesia and Berry Burst. The little detail is a Berry Burst. So pretty. Oh, hi, Irene. Boy, lots of California people here today. Our weather over the last couple of weeks has been extremely California. It was like in Fahrenheit, it was like pushing 100 every day, and it was absolutely brutal. Today, it's actually quite lovely. I went out for lunch with a girlfriend and we sat outside, and I actually was grateful that I wore a sweater. So the weather seems to be improving a little bit for here. We do need some rain. It was scheduled to rain all day yesterday, and we got about, oh, I don't know, maybe an hour of the most pathetic drizzle you ever saw in your life. It didn't even change the volume in my bird bath. That's how bad it was. And we have a fire watch where we are in Ontario. And actually not far from my girlfriend's cottage, there are raging forest fires. So I'm a little bit worried about her there. But oh, you know what? I think I picked up my, oh no, here they are. I thought I had put my papers in with my designer paper. This is for the inside of my card. So again, this is going to be one of the easiest cards you've ever made in your entire life. So let's go ahead and just put this together. So I'm going to use my all-purpose glue, my multi-purpose glue, I guess it's called. And I'm just going to take my designer paper and I'm going to plunk it right onto the center of that green panel. So this again is 3 1/4. by 4.5. Now I want to make sure that I have glue everywhere because we're going to cut it in half. So I'm going to make sure that I don't want it like icky gluey, but I want it to have glue everywhere. So this one is 3.25 by 4.5, and this is 3.5 by 4.75. So I'm going to just put that right in the center like this. And even that, I did manage to get a bit of glue, but that's okay. So that's that. So let me get my trimmer. So I have my trimmer here. Let's bring my glue back. I just have my glue in a little nail polish bottle holder, and it works really well. So I've got my piece here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the top left corner at 1 3/4, or sorry, at 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to line this up at 3/4 of an inch. I'm sorry, my thing does not zoom very well. I'm looking at alternatives because this irritates me no end. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Hopefully that will help. Or not. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can see this is my 3/4 of an inch line, and I'm lining up my top left corner with that 3/4 of an inch line. Then I'm going to take my bottom left and I'm going to put that at 1 3/4. And so there is a line in the middle with more dimensions because it's a long way down, right? So I'm here at the 1 3/4 inch line. Put that back at 3/4. Now I'm going to start my blade in the middle because if you have a lot of layers, whoops, which we have 2 layers here, I will start in the middle because sometimes when you go to start at the edge here, or even on a triangle if you're on a point, start in the middle and then go up and then come back down. And then that way you're not going to get those little crinkled, pushy things in if your blade isn't really, really sharp. So there we have our 2 pieces, okay? And then I've got my, actually I'm going to use my trimmer here. Let me just show you what I do if you haven't watched me before. If you haven't watched me before, I'd love you to subscribe. So what I do is I line up my corners like this, and I pop it against a hard edge. So this could be in your Stamparatus or in your Misty, or your trimmer or your scoreboard, anything with a corner. And I'm pushing all my sides together, and then I'm going to just beat it into submission using my bone folder. So now you can see my corners are perfectly lined up. I used to struggle with that, and then I saw somebody do that one time, and I thought, why didn't I think of that? That is brilliant. Okay. So now in here, I'm going to show you how this is going to line up. This is going to line up like this. Oops. Let me zoom out because I for sure will get out of the camera. There. So I'm going to overlay this one a tiny bit on the top like that. And then this one's going to come down here. And this is all like bare nudies. There's nothing on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Granny Apple Green and I'm just going to grab a floral. Now this set does not really necessarily have a floral. Now I could use this, I guess. I find it a little bit busy for what I want to do. So on, where is that card? On this one, I just put a couple of little like flowers, tone on tone, in between. And that's what I'm going to do. And I used the Pretty Florals stamp set, and I just used this little tri stamp there. So let me go ahead and grab that one. And grab a block. Is this block big enough? Yep. Okay. Now, if your stamps are new, don't forget to give them a good cleaning. I always give them a clean with my chamois, and then make sure it's really dry. But I've been using this one this past weekend, so I know that it's good. But I always do take a test stamp. So I'm going to grab some scrap paper. This is my paper pumpkin paper. And I'm just going to stamp it a couple times. You always want to pre-stamp your stamps to kind of prime them to make sure that they're receptive to the ink. And these are photopolymers, so they're going to absorb a bit of ink, and that's okay. If it changes color, it doesn't affect the stamps whatsoever. If you buy the cheap replicas off of those cheap replica stores, like overseas, they are made of silicone. And try as you might, you probably will not get a decent stamp out of it because silicone rejects water. And this is a water-based ink. All right. So I'm stamping Granny Apple Green onto Granny Apple Green. So I'm just going to kind of go down the center. Most of this is going to be covered up anyway. I got ink on my Band-Aid and I'm leaving a trail. I cut myself. You know, I know better. I was doing dishes yesterday morning. Yeah, I guess in the morning. And I know better, but I put the knives in the soapy water. And then I wanted to clean a pot really quick. So I grabbed my dishcloth and I went right in the water and just sliced my thumb. Don't say it. I know. Anyway, ugh. Do you think I could get it to stop bleeding? No. I put like a half an hour crimp in my day because I had things to do, but I couldn't get the bleeding to stop. Anyway, I will survive. Okay, so that's nice and clean. I don't have to worry about transferring ink anywhere. So now this is going to go on here like this. And this is going to go, I'm going to put this one up a little bit and I'm going to cut off the top and then glue it down here like I did with this one. Okay. This one, I mean, you can do it just plain, just like this one. Simple and easy. But I kind of like that. I think that's just a little bit different. So I'm going to do that one today. So let's see. I'm going to glue this one down. If you're just joining, please say hello. So I'm going to pop this one down fairly low, kind of like there. And you want to make sure that your edges don't go over the edge of the card base. There we go. And then this one, I'm going to cut off, oh, maybe a little bit more. I think about like that. So I'm just going to take a pencil. What the heck? I'm telling you. I don't know if you saw that. My screen just disappeared. So I'm just going to put a little pencil and I'm going to put a tick mark right there. I can barely see it. And I'm going to grab my trimmer again. And I'm just going to line up. How do I want to do that? Yeah, so I want to put the cut side against my edge here because I want to be able to make sure that this part's going to be straight. So I've got my little tick mark is right in the groove there. And I'm going to put my blade inside and come back and forward just because I don't want to wrinkle my edges here. There. So now this little guy is going to sit right up here. And then this little guy is going to sit here. Now I may have to, oh, if I move him up, no, I want him down here. I'm going to have to cut off maybe 1/4 of an inch here just to bring it over this way a little bit because it's actually overlapping here and I don't want that. So let me take 1/4 of an inch off. So I'm just going to go up to the 1/4 inch line there. That should work. Now, if this is too fussy for you, just do the 2 pieces. You don't have to fart around with the third piece like I'm doing. There, so that's going to sit there, and then this is going to sit, whoops, this way. Isn't that cute? I love it. So cute. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love you to subscribe. I'm trying to get 1,000 followers. That's my goal. I'm at 600 and something right now. There, so I just want to make sure that my edges are lined up, which is why I'm using liquid glue actually, because it gives you a little bit more leeway as opposed to using the Seal Plus, because I can wiggle it around with the liquid glue. There, and then I'm going to pop this one right in the corner here. Again, being sure to line up my edges. Do you guys like my nail polish? I've never, ever in my entire life had blue nail polish. I don't know what came over me, but it was a big move, let me tell you. There. Okay, so there's the front of our card. For the sentiment, I'm going to use Bloom Where You Grow. Hi, Jen. Thanks. I like them too. Jen is actually part of my team, or I guess more accurately, a part of her team. So there's the Bloom dies, and this is what it is going to look like when we put it together. Isn't that cute? So I went ahead and pre-cut a whole bunch of blooms. And the reason I did that is because I'm going to stack them. Instead of using dimensionals, I'm going to stack a few layers on top of each other. So I've cut out, I'm going to use 4 of the white ones and then 1 of the green ones. Now I haven't decided if I'm going to use Granny Apple Green or Garden Green yet. So we'll decide that once we get them stacked up. So let's put these here and start gluing these fellas together. I'm just going to zoom out a hair here. There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue. I should be using my silicone mat, but it's on my desk, and let me tell you what my desk looks like. Because it wasn't on my desk. It was behind my desk. Okay, so here's my silicone mat. And this is really, if you're going to be doing gluing on your desk, you really want to have a silicone mat because the glue will not stick to it. It'll just bead up and roll off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this. Let me grab my tweezers. Whoops. If you don't have a pair of these reversible tweezers, I'm telling you, they are like a gift. There, so I'm just going to put some glue. And then I'm going to layer the second one right on top of it. And that's another reason. I was going to use the adhesive sheets, but I find with the liquid glue, it's a little bit easier to smush them together if you need to. Like that, shifted a little bit. There, so now that's all lined up. I'm going to go ahead and, this is really sticky here. Beautiful. Surprised there's no cat banging on my door. Mind you, it is early. Probably in the next half an hour. If I'm still on, you'll be hearing Georgie. It's time for dinner. I don't know how these cats know it, but at 4:45 on the button, they know that they should be getting fed. I don't know how they do it. And that's the same with Georgie in the morning. She gets me up at 4:30. She'll jump on the bed and poke me in the face, meaning she wants the little scratch. And then when she's had enough of that, she kind of, not sure, like she pushes at me. She wants to go outside. So I put her out every morning at about 4:30. And then at 7, when I get up, she's sitting at the back door wanting her breakfast. And then she goes right back outside again. Now, she doesn't go out in the winter time, but she definitely loves to be outside. She's pretty feral that way. And the other cat, she won't go outside for love nor money. Can't say I blame her. She was attacked by a big bird 2 summers ago, and now she's terrified to go outside. She just will not go. Sometimes she'll go and sit on the deck as long as there's a human out there, but there. So you can see the thickness we have here. That's 4 layers, and that's going to give us some dimension so that I don't have to put it on dimensionals. You can if you want to, but I just find that this is much more stable for mailing as well. So there's my white one. There's my background. So I've got the Granny Apple Green, which is okay. I think it's kind of anemic looking, maybe. I don't know. What do you think? This one or Garden Green? This one or this one? Now, the other thing I have to do, I'm going to let you think about that for a minute. The other thing I have to do is I need a piece of cardstock, and we're going to stamp where you're planted. So I'm going to stamp that in Garden Green. And you know, the first time I saw this, I thought, what a weird sentiment. Bloom where you're planted. But then when I was thinking I needed to send my friend her a card for their new home, I thought, you know what? That makes perfect sense. Bloom where you're planted, because now they're planted in Manitoba. No, you know what? They're planted in Alberta. Her husband is from Manitoba. Okay, I need a block. So I'm going to grab a block. My blocks are filthy. Whew. Now, I haven't used this one yet, so I'm going to give it a clean. So what do you think? Granny Apple or Garden Green? So I'm just giving it a quick clean, because when these are manufactured, there is a slight residue that's left on them, and it takes longer for the ink to absorb. So I'm going to give that a quick dry with a little non-linty cloth. Now I say non-linty, that's not going to exclude the cat hair that is rampant in my house. Jen says, I love that sentiment. It's so true. A be happy where you are and shine kind of feeling. You're absolutely right. And I know she's excited to move there because her daughter and her grandchild lives there. So they're very excited about that. They were away from family where they were here. And so she's very excited to be moving. Garden Green is better. I agree. Also consider the flower color. Well, the flower color is actually Granny Apple Green. Oh, the flower color, do you mean like pink or something? Okay, I'm going to grab that paper that I had earlier. And I'm going to do a few little test stamps because it is a new stamp. I keep getting my Band-Aid in the ink. I wonder if I need to re-ink my green. That's better. Okay. Okay, that's looking pretty good. I just stuck my finger in it. So Irene thinks that we should do a different color, like maybe in one of the pinks. So I could do that. Let's see if I can get that straight. That didn't stamp very evenly. I'm gonna stamp it again. Let's see. I have a feeling I need to re-ink. That's better. So let's see. We could do Timid Tiger or Strawberry Slush, I think that is. Let me look. So our choices are, I don't think Bubble Bath would work. Petunia Pop. There's no Petunia Pop in that one. But there's definitely Strawberry Slush or Timid Tiger. Nope. Yep. Strawberry Slush or Timid Tiger. So we could do one of each and go from there. So let me grab some scraps. You never know until you try. So Strawberry Slush. And Timid Tiger. Okay. All right. So I'm going to cut out one of each, and then we can decide. So here's my die. And I'm using my mini cutter here. Let me zoom out a little. So let's see. So this one is Strawberry Slush. I'm not a pink person, but I just love the richness of this. Now, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Try to activate your ink would be to use your breath. Yeah, it's just not stamping fresh or like evenly. And I kind of think it's because A, it's a new stamp, but B, I've been doing a lot of blending with the brushes, and I kind of think that it's a little bit dehydrated. Now, one thing I did yesterday, and I chewed my embossing folder. I was using this embossing folder, and look at what I did to the edge. I don't know if you can see how rough it is there. I had it going into my cut and die machine, or cut and emboss machine, slightly on an angle, and when the part of the embossing folder hit here, and I'm thinking, why is it so hard to crank? Because normally I don't have a problem with that one. Well, I don't have a problem with any of them, to be honest. And it wouldn't go through, and I'm thinking, what the heck? So when I took it out, I saw that I was kind of jamming it into the side here. So now I'm very conscious to make sure that when I put in my plates that they're in straight. Because I kind of was getting a little bit lazy about that. And all right, so there's the Strawberry Slush. Actually, that might work. And then Let's do a hunk of Timid Tiger as well. Make sure everybody's lined up and happy. There. I don't know why I took my glass mat off my desk, because it was great for this. It was a bit glary, but there. Okay, so there's the Timid Tiger. So let's go ahead and put this away. Can you hear my husband banging around out there? He's working on, he flies a radio control aircraft with his buddies, and he crashed. The ground at the place where they fly their planes is so dry that there's big cracks. It's like when you see the desert in a movie and you see the ground and it's all cracked. It actually looks like that. He took me out there one day because I was kind of like, yeah, sure it is, but it is. And the cracks, no word of a liar, like an inch wide, and he can stick his hand right in it, and the crack is like halfway up his hand, and he's a big guy. He's 6 feet something, 6 feet tall, and yeah, big hands, and he can stick his hand like right in these cracks. And so he was flying, and when he landed, the landing gear caught one of these cracks, and just tore the landing gear right off his plane. He wasn't even remotely happy about that. So you know what? Let me cut this, because then we can sort of decide what we're going to do. Now, I dug out this. These are the Greetings of the Season from last year dies. I was looking for something that was bigger to, you know, to make like a banner. Now, I looked for it online. I thought they were still available, and I don't believe they are. But if you purchased this last year, then you have it. And also, just go through your stash of dies. Sometimes I forget what dies I have, and I look, and then I think, I don't even know I had that. So I'm just going to trim this so that I can put it through the mini. I forget sometimes what dies I buy, and you know, and I'll go through my box of dies and organize them alphabetically or whatever, and I think I don't even remember buying that. So it's a good idea just to go through them once in a while and see, oh yeah, I have that. So do I want to do it this way or this way? I think I'll do it this way. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of washi tape. And kind of line that up in the center there. There. Gotta remind myself to line up my plates because I don't want to. My other big one has all scratches on the inside, so obviously I've been doing that for a while. I need to be more conscious about how I run my plates through. So if you're struggling, that's why. There. Oh, I forgot this has a hole in it. I'm going to have to work with that. Okay. We'll see. I could cut that off too, for that matter. I think I might. All right. I had the nicest lunch today. I went out for lunch with a girl that I've known since, oh my gosh, we've been friends for probably 52 years or something like that. I'm trying to think trying to think of how old I was when I met her. I think I was 21, 21, I think. And what do I do with my scissors? So anyway, we get together once or twice a month for lunch, and we went down to this restaurant here in town that's right on the water, on a bay, and there was a whole family of swans there, and oh, it's really lovely. All right, so that's going to go there. I am going to pop that up on dimensionals. So we have our bloom here. So let's see. Here is strawberry slush. That's pretty. Timid tiger. I keep sticking to my Band-Aid. Come on. There. Timid tiger. It's not perfect, but you get it. And then granny apple green. Maybe there's too many choices. What do you think? So there's granny. And garden green. All right. Whoops. Oh, come now. Keep sticking to my Band-Aid. All right. Good grief. Come on. Anyway, there it is. Okay. What do you guys think? So, strawberry slush, timid tiger, granny apple green, or garden green. Okay. Irene is saying garden green. Anybody else? I'm kind of agreeing with you. I think the other colors are lovely, but it doesn't have enough boot, right? Although the strawberry slush looks pretty nice, but I'm gravitating towards the garden green too. Nobody else? Okay, 2 against nobody. Garden green it is. All right, let's glue this baby together. So let me grab my silicone mat. Jen, you like the garden green as well? Yeah, I do. I think it's lovely. So I'm just going to pick this up with my tweezies there. And this is just one of those little bottles. You can get these at any craft store. I think I got mine on Amazon. And I just put the multi-purpose glue in it, it's my favorite glue. So I just use that. So I'm challenging myself to be more present online. I struggle, honestly, you people. I struggle going live. I know I do it fairly often. I have over 100 videos, but the workup mentally for me to do this, you have no idea. There, oh, look. And that's how easy that is, just to plunk that right on. But I do use the liquid glue in case I have to move it around a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to sit this on here to hold it down for half a second. And then while that's sort of setting, let's pop some dimensionals on the back of this. Oh, thanks, Jen. Jennifer is my upline, and she's been a great mentor for me. She's great. Oh, you know what, Jen? I forgot to look at your dates for this month. I need to do that. Or for September. I'm so excited. My grandkids are coming on the weekend for a few days. I've only seen them a couple times this summer. My daughter works full-time, so she's got, one is still in daycare, and the other one is in camps. And this week she's in golf camp. And my daughter sent me a video of her putting this morning. Oh my gosh, so cute. She's only 5. All right, so I'm going to pop this here. And then the bloom, I'm going to put, now, do I put it on an angle or do I put it straight? Like that or like that? No cards this month because I don't have it. Yeah, I saw your streets all under construction when I went by to go to the duck this morning. Are they putting in new sewers or what the heck's going on over there? Straight, yeah, you know what? I typically don't put things on an angle, but I just thought, hey, you know, it's a new day. I like it. Okay. So let's get some, oh, I got a piece of strawberry slush on there. Come on, away you go. Everything's sticking to my Band-Aid. I think it's time for a new Band-Aid. I've been inclined to cook a little bit more. We got a new stove last week, or was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago now. We got an induction stove. We had a gas stove before, which I liked. But I'll tell you, if you have a gas stove, it is a production to clean that thing. You got to take the big metal things off where your pots sit. Oh, shoot. And, oh, look at that. It didn't land glue down. Woo. Okay. And I got to the point where, you know, bless my husband, he does probably 3/4 of the cooking, maybe even more than that. But he hates cleaning the stove and he leaves it for me, and I hate cleaning the stove. So I've kind of been hinting around, not even hinting, like plain out saying, I think we need a new stove. And I wanted an induction stove, so we got one. He's surprised. He didn't even tell me he was getting one. He put our gas stove on Marketplace and ordered an induction stove. And it was the same stove that I would have picked, because I thought, how would you pick a stove without your wife? Like, but you know, we've been looking at them off and on for the last couple of years, so he probably knew exactly what I wanted, and he did. So we got the GE Profile induction stove. Let me tell you something. I was craving, I know this sounds weird, I was craving, you know, baked beans. I haven't had them in years and years and years, and we were at the grocery store last week, and I saw a can of baked beans, and I thought, I have not had those since I was like probably a kid, or probably when my kids were kids, and they're both pushing 40. So I got a can, and I put the can in a little pot on the induction stove, and then I went to the sink to rinse out the can. Honestly, by the time the can was rinsed out, that was boiling. Like, it was instantaneous. I've never seen anything like it. I was so impressed. I thought, oh, holy Dinah, like. And then only the pot gets hot. The stove does not get hot. Now, if you just stick it on the stove where the pot was sitting, of course, the glass is going to be a little bit hot, but it cools off just like 90. All right, so there's the front of our card. I had some beads, seeds, whatever here. My embellishments, what did I do with those? Good grief. I just had 2 packages of embellishments right here. Oh, here we are. Okay. So I have the low profile sparkle dots. They're really pretty. And I have the holographic resin dots. Now, I'm kind of gravitating towards these because they look green-ish. But these look green too. These look like garden green. So maybe I'll use these ones. Okay. These just came and I really love them. So I'm going to put my blooms away before I lose these guys there. So let's see. I'll do what I did on the last card because I kind of liked it. So I got 2 here. Maybe I'll put 3 here. Is that straight? Nope. And then I'm going to put 2 here. There. Isn't that pretty? So cute. And because I can, I'm going to put some Wink of Stella. Here we are. The other day, I think it must be getting low. I was putting Wink of Stella on a card the other day, and I'm just going along, and all of a sudden I got this big blob of Wink of Stella, and I'm like, no. So I ended up having to redo. So I'm just going to do a couple of flowers here and there. I'm not going to do the whole card. I just want a little bit of shine here and there. Let's see. So cute. There. I don't know, I never seem to be able to get the shine to shine. But you can see it a little bit. The Wink of Stella, tiny bit. Very cute. So that's the front of the card. Super cute. And then on the inside of the card, I have again my garden green is 3.5 by 4 3/4, and then this is 3 1/4 by 4.5. So on here, I'm going to stamp, let's see, I'm going to do this 2-step flower. So here's my stems, and here are my flowers. So let's see, let me grab a block here. And a block for my floral. Okay, so I'm going to use, I think I'll use Granny Apple Green this time. And where's my scrap? I just want to do a quick test stamp. So I've got my stems here. Beautiful. I'm just going to stamp them right there. And then, let's see, I think I'll do Timid Tiger. Let me grab Timid Tiger. And I'm just going to put that right on here. So pardon my head if I get in the camera there. There, super cute. And then let's see. I'm going to put on from Mixed Labels just a note to let you know you're on my mind, because they are moving away. And Jen, it's Anne. She's just moved to Edmonton, just outside of Edmonton. Jennifer knows, and my friend. I need to clean my blocks because they're not stamping that great, or they're not holding the stamps. They're kind of icky. Okay, I'm just going to do, again, a test stamp. I always test stamp my stamps, just to make sure. Because sometimes, you know, your ink pad needs to be re-inked and you're not getting a good stamp. I hope this is straight. It's not. I'm going to flip it over. Oh, I have glue on the other side. I'm going to grab another one. Nothing drives me crazier than not having a straight stamp. All right, the first thing I have to do is trim this to 3, what did I say? 3 1/4 by 4.5. So and keep this because you can use this for sentiment. 3 1/4 by 4.5. And this one too. All right, let's try that again. It's better. And my timid tiger. I think I almost stuck my cuff in my ink here. That wouldn't be good. And there we go. Beautiful. Okay. Now you could, and I don't know why I didn't, I could have cut my word bloom out of here because this is going to be covered up, right? Instead of using scraps. But I just used up scraps anyway, so it doesn't matter. But if you find that you don't have any scraps and you know this is going to be a layered piece, go ahead and cut out whatever out of there. And sometimes I will do that with my specialty paper, like my foils and things. I'll cut out a circle or a frame or something out of the gold or silver or glimmer paper so that it's not being wasted, especially if you're going to put something like this on top. That's a big piece of glimmer paper to be gluing down. So I will cut something out of the middle of it and then just glue this right over it, and nobody's the wiser. And then you also have another element in that particular paper. So just a little hint there. All right, so that's going to go centered on top of there. And then I'm going to pop this on the inside of my card. I always decorate the inside of my card. A lot of times I won't put a sentiment on the inside just because I don't know who it's going to. But I will decorate whatever the inside is, I'll decorate it. And I don't necessarily glue it in because if you screw up the stamping like I did with the other one, then you're out of luck. Is that straight? Does that look straight? Yep. You know, then you have to kind of pick it out. But isn't that pretty? Super, the easiest card you'll ever make in the world. And it's just lovely. So I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. Have a great afternoon. It is still fairly early. I may actually hop on my bike and go for a bike ride. So take care. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. As I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And check out my online store. If you don't have a Canadian, I can't even talk today, Canadian demonstrator, go ahead and check out my online store at crittersandink.com. Thanks so much. Have a super afternoon.